to stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up, and throughout the world today.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. The Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour today. Every Wednesday, third hour is Manhood Hour. Manhood Hour. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for today, for this week, the biblical question for this week. What is real reality? What is real reality? What's the real deal? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And you can also listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad, anywhere in the world, no matter where you are. And no matter what you're doing, if you are not able to sit and watch it live right now, you can podcast, of course, but you can listen to the show and still do what you got to do. Work out, whatever you're doing. Land up at a beach by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, Jesse Lee Peterson, on Instagram and JLP Talk on X. On X. For those who don't know, X at one time was called Twitter. I forgot the name already. Twitter. And you can have your comments read out loud by going to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buying JLP Cash App. Buying JLP on Cash App. And rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right? Amazing. Amazing. Well, it's a lot going on in this old world, in my country, and no sign of getting better at all, but only getting worse. Only getting worse. And it's because human beings are not responsible for self, individuals. They listen to the so-called experts who lie to them. They are not thinking for themselves. They are getting weaker. And the world, America, now push anger as good. I've said it once, twice, 3 times later. I love you. I said it 1,000 times, more than that, that anyone that has anger has fear. Anyone that has anger is lonely Anyone that has anger is revengeful, judgmental, gossip, insecure, are not able to stand alone. And so, in other words, they are miserable. And they're trying to find peace by hurting others because the father of anger, which is evil, the spirit of evil, the devil, tells them that misery is life. So judge yourself, condemn yourself, and feel miserable about it, and you have life. Do the same to others, and you have life. But what they don't know is death. It's death. All angry people, I don't care who you are, where you live, how much money you have or don't have, how many so-called friends you have or don't have, because that's not really anyway. Family members, anyone that has anger is miserable. Everyone you know, have known, will know, is gonna know, love their misery, except the few that work on themselves to overcome it, right? Because everything that's wrong with you is in you. It's not in somebody else. They got their wrongness in them. You have yours in you. And if you want to be free right here on earth, you can have it. You can have perfect peace right here while you live this earth, because the kingdom of heaven is within, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not. And it ain't about being religious. It is about returning to the Father. Every human being, in order for you as an individual to have peace, perfect peace, you must return to the Father. You must work on you, because the world gone crazy. And they pushing everything that's evil. Everything that's evil. And one of the biggest game that's been played on the blacks, and not just the blacks, but primarily the blacks, because evil work through them, and then other evil people jump on board to promote their evil. But one of the most evil game that's been played on the blacks is that they've been told it's not their fault. There is slavery. There is systemic racism. There is somebody else. It's the white supremacists. There is Jim Crow. There is systemic racism. Is not you. You need reparation. You need welfare. You need affirmative action. You need for the white people to lower the standard, because it's racism. You can't get into a white school because the white standard is too high for you. So we're going to make the white people lower the standard. And so you have a right to be mad. You have a right to be angry. And most of the blacks, not all. Most of the blacks have fallen for the lie. And generation are getting worse and not better. Have you had the talk, they say, with your children about the police? It's hard on the black man in America. Poor blacks. They're not telling them it starts in the home with your mama. You got to overcome your mama by forgiving her, but they tell her it's outside the home. And so the blacks grow in anger, and they only get worse. The world gone crazy. And the blacks, not all but most, are getting worse. They blame everything on this false idea. That's what the deal is. It's not even a real idea. It's a false, it's a lie. It's not even real. It's not reality. Police brutality and racism and all that. It's not even real, but because the average black won't pull away from the lie, from the group, from the crowd, the group is a coward. They have no courage. That's why they join forces together, because they cannot stand alone and overcome. So they find other weak, deceived people, and they approve of each other but hated each other at the same time. You must stand alone, pull away from the world, the crowd, and become your own man, your own woman. Then you shall know the truth. You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. It will make you free in ways that I can't even express. But the blacks, and not all but most, will not let the anger go. They love blaming others. They love it. We have a whole society of people today of all races that love blaming somebody else. And as long as you're blaming others, it means that you cannot see. You've been lied to. They have covered up evil with false words. With false words. Instead of calling it evil, they call it racism, sexism, homophobism, Islamophobism, Allahu Abbaism, deadbeat dadism, white supremacism, anti-Semitism, some type of isms. LGBTQism, all lies. And the people still don't get peace. They never find peace. But the ones who pull away from that, they find peace. And the blacks are getting worse with anger because they believe the lie. And once you believe a lie, no one can convince you that you've been lied to. You have to see it yourself. If you don't see it for yourself, you would never be free of the lie. Isn't that something? That's why I tell you, never try to convince anyone of anything. Their minds have already been made up. Their minds are already made up. Why should you try to convince someone when their mind is already made up? They love the lie. They love to lie to themselves, and they love it when others lie to them. And yet, because they love their misery, they love their hell. Here's an example of the blacks getting worse and not better with the anger. Because of anger. Anger is evil. Anger is your enemy. It is not your friend. Why do you think women push anger, emotions? They tell you should be. It's good. Because they are miserable. And Satan tried to pull everybody into the hell that he's in. And he used the women to do it, to tell them that anger is good. And the men should be angry. Everybody should be emotional. I get so emotional, baby, every time I look at you. Every time I think of you, I get so emotional. What a mess. Here's an example of evil working through the woman. Did you hear about this drive-through shooting? You can't even go to Jack in the Box now. This is from Fox. Law enforcement has released a surveillance video showing an incident involving a Houston Jack in the Box employees who shot at a drive-through customer. Watch this from Fox.
On March 3rd, 2021, Anthony Ramos picked up his pregnant wife and 6-year-old daughter from IAH. They drove to a Jack in the Box right near that airport. Watch as Ramos pulls up to that drive-through window. He's then greeted by Alania Ford. And once his food was handed over, an order of curly fries were missing from the bag. When he asked for them, he was told no. That's when the argument started. You can see Ramos in his red pickup truck going back and forth with Ford. She walks away, comes back, and the argument continues. This went on for roughly 9 minutes before things escalated. Watch this. As Ford walks away from the window a second time, she pulls out a gun from her pocket, checks it, and then puts it back. Another employee approaches the window to try and resolve the situation. But in the midst of that, Ford comes back and starts arguing with Ramos yet again. This time, things are more heated. Eventually, she starts throwing ketchup packets into his truck window. So he started throwing things back. The other employee closes the drive-through window and locks it. But then Ford comes back yet again, unlocks the window, points her gun directly at Ramos, and starts shooting as he speeds away. Luckily, none of those bullets struck Ramos's vehicle and no one was injured. Ford was charged and convicted of deadly conduct, and recent documents show her probation ended in June of 2023.
Amazing. And she got a fro, a red one too. Black anger. Can you imagine shooting at the man, according to this report, because he asked for curly fries, according to the report? This is anger. You still love your anger? You still believe anger and emotions are good? Woe unto the man or woman who tells you that emotions are good. That's your enemy. I don't care who he is, who he or she is, what type of work they do. When they tell you emotions are good, they're telling you they hate you and they want your life. This woman is shooting at the customer. Whatever happened to the customer is always right. We don't even hear that anymore. Remember, the customer is always right. We were taught that growing up, and when I went out and we go out and get jobs, if the customer is angry or the customer has a complaint, we try to take care of the customer. We don't get angry at the customer. That's gone now. And the blacks got it bad, real bad. The men and the women. Because they have been encouraged to be that way. You have a right to be angry, they say. I'm telling you, do what you want. I'm telling you, there's never, ever, ever, never, 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 ever, 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 but never, ever a reason to be angry. I don't care what happens to you. There's never a reason to be angry. You can deal with the issues of life without being angry. It's the right way to do it. But once you become angry, you destroy yourself. You become your enemy and the enemy to others. You cannot, should not, ought to not trust an angry person. I don't care who it is. Look at your mama, how she treats you in anger. My mama don't like you. She likes everyone. Anger is evil. Anger is your enemy. It's not your friend. And anyone that has anger is suffering. You're suffering. This woman shooting at the customer. I guess she just thought the customer was wrong. This is how the children are treated in the home by the mamas. And by the way, how's Chicago doing? They switched mayors over in Chicago, and they got the same spirit. I told them don't vote out one black mayor and vote in another one. What the? And they did it. And look what they're getting. But it's racism. It's systemic racism, they say. When will you be responsible for your own life, overcoming? What will it take? And I do understand most people don't want to overcome, so I wish you well. But for those who do want to overcome, you can. You can have the kingdom of heaven. You can have peace right here on earth, but it starts with you. It starts with you, and it's from you. From you. It's within you. Way down inside of you, you can find it. You got to dig deep. How is Chicago doing, y'all? The Blaze is reporting surveillance video caught the moment when a pair of attackers ran up on a man from behind in a Chicago alley Monday afternoon. This is from CBS.
Chicago police are looking for two men caught on camera violently attacking a person in Bucktown. Now, we want to warn you, this video may be difficult to watch. You're seeing the moment a pair of robbers attacked a 33-year-old man yesterday afternoon in an alley near Damon and Dickens. They threw the victim into a chain-link fence and knocked him to the ground before running off with his backpack and phone.
That's love. That's love. Welcome to the black world. Remember when the white folk was kissing the feet of Black Lives Matter? What do you mean feeling, James? What that mean right now? Oh, the Journal's report is reporting that Philadelphia riots and looting last night. I had no idea about that, but not surprised. The blacks have been told it's somebody else. It's like in the homes, the children have been told the father is the problem when it's really coming from the mother, and the children never get better because they believe the lie that it's the father, and they grow up yearning for their father. But when they start to really think about it, oh, it's my mama, it wasn't my daddy. It wasn't my daddy, it was my mama I hated. A mama's love is not that special. After all, can you imagine this guy just walking down the alley, not paying attention, thinking that he's safe in Chicago? And those two guys looked like they were black. One seemed to be light-skinned. It could have been another race. But welcome to America. And it's going to get worse. Have you seen what's coming across the borders lately? They want you afraid. They want you angry. They want you divided. They want you fighting one another. And because you are divided within, the divided people without keep you divided. And you don't have sense enough to take over your own life. Think for yourself. Do for yourself. You love your hell. This guy just walking down the alley, and they walk up and just beat him because of their anger. And they have been given permission that it's okay, slavery. You go ahead, black people. I understand. It's slavery. It's Jim Crow. It's systemic racism. So you have a right to rob, steal, and kill. As I said, I'm just finding this out right now. Philadelphia riot and looting last night from the Drudge Report. Apple, Foot Locker, and Lululemon were all hit. Cops were outnumbered, according to Drudge. Large crowds of juvenile looted multiple stores in Philadelphia from Drudge. It ain't going to get no better because you're pushing evil and you're giving people excuses to be evil. And this is what evil does. It hurt you, and it hurt the person that's evil, and it hurt others. And you're constantly pushing the lie that racism exists. We are more divided in America than I've ever seen it. It was bad under the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, and he started this mess as far as dividing. Well, he didn't start it, but he added to it. He took it on from 10 to 110 real fast. And it's just getting worse. The devil is in the details. I would recommend you work on yourself so you can overcome this fear, because there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Why not overcome? Why you still live? It's a spiritual battle. And blacks, y'all need to really look at yourself and wonder why, George? Why, Lord? Why, George, Lord? Why am I acting this way? When will I stop acting this way? Why is it the black race, for the most part, is the only race that's acting this way, so violent and angry and blaming, out of control? And the men are as worse as the women. Why don't you ask why? Ask yourself. You don't have to ask the world. You can ask yourself and find the answer. Why am I so violent and angry? Why do I continue to blame someone else as a grown-up? In body, at least, not in mind. And you keep pushing race. You're worshiping and supporting evil in a Judeo-Christian country. As Martha Reeves and the Vandellas say, I got nowhere to run to, baby. I got nowhere to hide. I suggest you run within and overcome. And overcome. Your freedom is up to you. It's up to you. Everyone can have it if they want it. And it doesn't look like anything you think it look like. 888-7753-773. A quick break. Back in a moment. Your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. Okay, quick announcement. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. right after my show, 9 a.m. Pacific time from 9 to 11. And after the Hake report, wow, Hassan. Wow, W-O-W, Hassan, with the two S's, every Wednesday, Hassan. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. And don't forget, for personal shout-outs, go to Cameo, and I will do them for you. Whatever the shout-out's about, birthday, weddings, anniversary, encouragement, congratulations, whatever, go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Let me go to Tashina, a first-time caller out of Long Beach. There is one, Long Island, New York, sorry. There's one line open at 888-7753-773. Tashina, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. So I just wanted to call in. So I just went on a trip to go, and part of it was to forgive my mom and dad. And it went really well. We drove all the way to Missouri. I have my husband and my baby. We're on our way back now, and I just wanted to tell you, it went well with my mom, and then I haven't spoken to my dad in I don't know how many years. A lot of years have gone by, and so I wanted to go, and do it. And my mom, she tried everything in her power to make it not happen.
Yep. Are you on a speakerphone, Tashina?
No, I have the phone. I don't have it on speaker, but I am in a car. Can you hear me?
Is it coming across okay? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. They said it's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, yeah, I don't think she realized that she was even what she was doing. But, yeah, she didn't want it to happen. And I was nervous anyway, and so I kind of almost just, let it be an excuse to not do it. Like, oh, well, she's saying he doesn't want to talk to me. But she was being a liar. And my husband, he said, what do you have to lose? Just go and try. We were at my grandma's, and my dad lives next door. So I drove over, and it went really well. And I saw my dad differently, than I ever have before, ever.
Yep.
And, he's just doing his best, and he has my mom and grandma, they're just battling each other for control over him. And I just never saw anything like this before, ever. And the rest of my family, they commented that I seemed different. They even said your spirit seems different. They used those words, good, in a good way.
That's what happens once you return to the Father. You return to love, and you overcome the hate, the evil.
It's crazy. It really is. And one thing I am like struggling with at times is seeing evil as all the same. I still see evil, like some evil is worse than others. And I know that's not true, but it sometimes like doesn't make sense, like how just my grandma being judgmental is the same as like a child molester. Like I can't make that make sense in my head.
Well, and if you are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Every morning, every night.
I want you to encourage you to stay with that because it will be made clear to you. Eventually, because now you're starting to drop all ideas, you're starting to overcome all the false training you've had about life and about things, and it will be made clear to you that evil is evil is evil. And the same person that molests children, they are doing it from the same spirit of a mother turning children away from their fathers, or a bank robber, or serial killer. It's the same spirit. It's just a different act, a different situation, but it's the same spirit. And it will be made clear to you, and you will see there's no degree of anger. Anger is evil, period.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was a little bit more clear to me earlier today when you were talking about the drive-through shooting.
Yes.
That is just someone who's already angry, and they're just that anger is just like already in them, and they did something crazy that they probably never thought they would do. But like all of the anger that was in them already, it wasn't just like they got angry there. Like they were already angry.
100%.
So it kind of was. Yeah, it kind of was a little more clear when I heard that earlier when I was waiting.
Yeah, so. That's why I'm encouraging you to stay with the prayer. Be still and know the truth, and the truth will reveal to you that yes, that's the same. That woman that accused of shooting at the man through the drive-through has the same spirit that a child molester used to go after children, a bank robber used, a murderer, or fake friends and fake family member. It's the same spirit. And that woman, the man that drove through the window there, drove the drive-through of the window there, he had nothing to do with it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
It been there since day one for that woman. It was already there.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it really is. And I'm still.
It's the spirit that tried to get your mother to convince you not to go to your father. That's the same spirit that the child molester, that drives a child molester.
Yeah, it something clicked when you were saying that earlier. Yeah. And I'm still dealing with having anger sometimes. And just stick with the silent prayer, right? Yes,
just stay with it, and you will catch the anger coming because you believed it to a thought. Because you can't have the emotion unless you have a thought first, and so you will catch it coming, and you will see that it's not you, it's not real, and you will let it pass, and you will overcome it.
Okay. Jesse, we're in the car driving, and my baby's crying, so I don't.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go now. Thank you so much.
Stay with it, and you haven't seen anything. And stop calling the anger you or yours. It's not you, and it's not yours.
Thank you.
I wish you well. That's amazing.
I know. Thank you. I wish you well too.
All right. Thank you. Call me again.
Okay. Bye.
Bye now. See, ladies have to do the same thing the men have to do if they want to be free. You got to forgive mama. Your mama is evil. And it's not her, but it's that spirit that made a home in her, passed down from her mother, and so on and so on and so on. It's the same thing. That's why I say any man that's angry is a female. Why do you think men are vicious and nasty like a woman? That spirit, that female spirit that came from their mother was passed down to them. And they call it their own. They don't know. They can't see. Jay is the first-time caller out of Maryland. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Jay, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, man. So I've been watching your show for a little while now. You know, I would say this, man, I kind of been going through it for some years, dealing with my wife and dealing with these, that type of negative spirit that you're talking about. And I realized in myself where, you know, my anger was coming from, especially after seeing your show and understanding more so what it was. Man, look, my wife ended up leaving me and taking my children at one point in time, probably like a month ago. And she did it in the sense of like a spiteful thing, right? And it was something that hurt and bothered me because like I'm always there and I'm always with my kids, you know. I fought a lot just to have these kids be here for them to exist. I cared a lot. When I say fought a lot, I mean like when I was younger. I have 3 kids now. One of them was pure. All of them are a blessing from God. But my first original children I was supposed to have, she aborted the children behind my back, and I never knew anything about it until afterwards. And it was something where, like, I just had deep in my heart I was going to get back to. I had to go through a lot of hell throughout these years dealing with this person, with a lot of wrath, a lot of bad words, a lot of cursing, a lot of back and forth that I didn't feel like that needed to be there. But then I realized, you know, throughout the whole situation and things that were going on, what I had to do was I had to take the time to heal. So I took time throughout the situation. I was able to go see my mom. I walked with my mom. I did what you were talking about. I looked her in her eyes, and I told her I forgave her. You know, I forgave her for all of the things that she had did from when I was younger. I forgave her for those things, and I knew that she was just doing the best that she could do from what she knew at that moment. And when I took the opportunity to do that, I did feel an uplifting thing off of my heart. I definitely felt myself grow a lot more. I've been spending a lot more time in prayer. I've been reading the Bible a lot more. I have a prayer closet. I call it my war room. I've been spending a lot of time in there and just praying a lot. And, you know, God is doing what he said, you know. My kids are back with me, and they're back with me, but I still continue to get the spiteful and negative, nasty stuff from her. And I know it's not all her fault, you know. Like, I look at it like her mom did that to her. You know, we used to go to therapy. The therapist said to us before, I was trying to fix something that I never broke. You know, it wasn't me that did this to her. It was her mother that did this, so it's for her and her mom to deal with.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, you know, the hardest thing for me right now is that, like, dude, like, I really care about having my family together, but I'm not trying to force anyone to be with me that doesn't want to be with me. You know, I'm not trying to force anyone to do something that is not necessarily they want to do. I go to her, I show her scripture, I show her things, how this is what it is. But when she sees things that are of scripture and she don't agree with it, she don't want to deal with it. Nah, screw that. I don't want to be there. I don't want this, that, and the third. And the only thing I could do in all actuality is just pray. I'm not angry with her, bro. I'm not angry with her at all anymore. I don't have anger in my heart anymore.
Nice.
I don't have it there.
Yeah.
You know, I feel at peace in that sense. But I'm more so just like, as the Bible says, if a woman wants to leave for you, let her leave.
Yeah.
Let her go. You know, and Jesse, like, dude, I just want better. I want to make sure I'm doing the best thing when it comes to my children, when it comes to flourishing and doing better for myself as a man. I just want to do those things, man.
Right on.
You know, and I hope in all of this stuff that I'm doing now that I'm not in the wrong, at least not in God's eyes. And as I read the Word and read Job and things of that nature, I don't feel like I am. You know, honestly, I don't feel like I am at all.
Amazing.
The last stage I got to do is to go forgive my father, you know, because just for the same thing, I want to look him in his eyes and say the same thing to him. I don't want to do it over the phone. I want to do it face to face,
right,
in reality with one another.
Nice,
you know?
Nice. And your question for me is what?
So my question for you, Jesse, is: Am I moving on the right path? From what I'm telling you now, Is that the right path for me? Is that the right path?
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I just looked up your silent prayer, so I haven't been doing it. I am planning on doing it today and tonight.
Yeah, start with the silent prayer. Now that you've gone forgiving your mother and you will with your father, do the silent prayer so that the light, which is God, the love, which the real love, which is God, will bring you completely out of the darkness, and He's going to lead your life because your life is already laid out, and you're going to find yourself following the truth, and it's going to be amazing. So you are on the right track. Stay there, do the silent prayer, and you'll see it's going to get easier and easier. Your mind will be clearer and clearer, and all that emotional stuff will be gone, and you will have perfect peace.
Thanks, Jesse.
So do the silent prayer every morning, every night, and during the day when you're caught up in thoughts, bring your mind back to where your body is. Become aware of your body. Your body is present with God, and the more you let go, the freer you'll become. Life is about letting go. It's never about taking on, and you'll be fine. All thoughts are all lies all the time. So except practical thoughts of, taking care of your kids, going to work, and that kind of stuff. But all other thoughts are lies, so just let those thoughts pass.
Okay.
How many abortions did this woman have?
2.
Amazing.
Not from one not from me, but yeah.
So let me ask. So you have your children right now, you say?
Yeah.
And do you have to take them back to her?
Nah, as of right now, nah. That's what it's coming out to being. No, they're going to end up being with me. Nice.
And so why are you reading the scriptures and trying to convince her of anything?
Honestly, it's just because I don't want to come from anywhere that's not the word and whatever I'm saying. So if I'm speaking to her about something, you can see it right here in the word. That's where my foundation is coming from.
Here's what I recommend, but do what you want. Do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
From this day forward, don't read any scriptures to her. Don't try to convince her of anything. If you have your children now and you have them, you have them, you be done with her. She will destroy you. And now that you're returning to God, returning to your Father, that thing inside of her going to hate you even more so.
Okay.
And so I would count my blessing that she's gone and you have your children, and I would just focus on myself, take care of my children, and this woman already had 2 abortions, and she is trying to punish you with your own children. Don't bring hell back into your life like that. Wish her well. Don't be angry at her. You're right. She can't help herself. But don't bring that hell back into your life. You can't convince her about God or anything. She have to want that.
Okay. She said yesterday that she started fasting 2 days ago.
Well, good for her, but don't you bring her back in your life.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, she's already shown you what she would do. What more proof do you need that this woman is evil?
None. None at all. I don't need any more proof. Trust me.
So wish her well, but be done with it. Don't try to convince her about God or anything.
Okay.
And I really want to encourage you to, it sounds like you're doing the word prayer thing, right? You get down, you ask God for things and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I get down. Yes, I do.
Okay,
I definitely do.
I want. If you want to do that, do that. And when you're done with that, be still and know God, because we don't know what we want. We don't know what we need, so we don't know what to ask for. But the Spirit of God inside of us, it knows all, and it will take care of us. So when you be still and just let His will be done, all your heart desires will be met. They'll be added unto you.
Okay.
So
Okay, I'll take that in.
Yeah, do the silent prayer. Let me know what you think about it once you've done it for about a week or so or whatever. Let me know what you think about it. And do your little hooping and hollering until you see you don't need to be doing that anymore.
All right. I will.
Amazing. So, yes, you are on the right track. It is working. If you stay with it and just keep your focus on you, what's going on inside of you, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you're not the feelings, you're not your body, you haven't seen anything, man. It's only going to get better for you. You're on the right track.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Amazing. Thank you. That was an amazing talk. I appreciate it.
Amazing. But
amazing.
stay away from that woman. Don't be begging the devil to come back home.
I'm not going to do it.
And the devil don't want to hear the scripture. He'll use the scriptures against you. You work on you and your children. I'm glad you have your kids. So now you move forward with you and your kids.
Roger.
All right?
All right.
All right, man. Amazing. Let me know how it goes.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chats.
Super.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. How about you?
All is well.
Being enlightened till I rise, bought you 7 coffees saying, "Morning, gentlemen. Just watching the show while crossing the border so I can get some free stuff."
And good morning.
He says a biblical question answer.
What is real reality?
When I saw that real reality is just that you are alone as a spirit in perfect peace, you are alone walking in anything else with outside identities and thoughts from Satan are all fake reality, he says.
Amazing. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you. Amazing.
Justin Childers says, here's bought a coffee. An old Irish tune from a time when being a nationalist and white was okay and globalism wasn't a thing. High upon the gallows tree swung the noble-hearted thee. Hearted three. By the vengeful tyrant stricken in their bloom, but they met them face to face with the courage of their race, and they went with souls undaunted to their doom. God save Ireland, said the heroes. God save Ireland, say us all. Whether on the gallows high or the battlefield we die, oh, what matter when for Erin, dear we fall. Nice.
Amazing. Nice. Remember when white used to be nice? It was nice to be white. It's okay to be white still, but you gotta just do it. Thank you all. Appreciate that. I got to take a break. I can't believe this hour's gone. When I come back, more of your calls and super chats. Hake is coming up with the hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. One line open at 2 lines right now at 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Liberal judge persecutes our greatest president in that New York black female attorney general lawsuit. And looting and retail theft is at an all-time high, particularly just yesterday in Philly. Sleepy Joe's not a good master. 11th bite of a Secret Service agent, I guess, from the German Shepherd commander. Should have called him Redskin. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Wednesday, September 27th, 2023 AD. JLP will be right back to your calls and the rest of the Super Chats. You can call in. There is one line open. And JLP will get back to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. A lying and or dumb judge versus Trump. A New York judge, New York, of course, has found, supposedly, that our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, and his adult sons, liable for fraud, quote unquote, and canceled the Trump Organization's business certification, saying that the Trumps provided false financial statements for roughly a decade. Civil case is a blow to Trump and a complete rejection of his arguments that he did not inflate the values of his golf courses, hotels, and homes on financial statements that were repeatedly used in business. The New York Attorney General, that's that black female one, rough looking, has sought $250 million in so-called damages, a ban on the Trumps from serving as officers of a business in the state of New York, and to stop the company from engaging in business transactions for 5 years. They're trying to destroy the man and his family. The trial's start date remains in limbo. For balance, Alex Salvi News reports the judge seemed to value Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort as worth just 18 million people. Independent journalist Cernovich suggested that the judge in the Trump case either doesn't understand the difference between property tax assessment and fair market value, or does and is lying. Crooked judge, perhaps. Who knows? Simon Ateba says Eric Trump condemned the New York ruling, writing, "In an attempt to destroy my father and kick him out of New York, a judge has ruled that Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is only worth approximately $18 million. Mar-a-Lago is speculated to be worth well over $1 billion by some," he says. Forbes has it at least $350 million, not $18 million, making it arguably the most valuable residential property in the country. It's all so corrupt and coordinated, said Eric Trump, Trump's blonde son. Today, I lost all faith in the New York legal system. Never before have I seen such hatred toward one person by a judge. A coordinated effort with the Attorney General, black female, of course, to destroy a man's life, company, and accomplishments. We have run an exceptional company, never missing a loan payment, making banks hundreds of millions of dollars, developing some of the most iconic assets in the world. Yet today, the persecution of our family continues. Retail theft is so bad, CNN is covering it again. Common Nonsense Network CNN reports a growing number of retailers, large and small, are closing stores as they continue to struggle to contain shoplifting crimes. Target this week announced that the company is closing 9 stores in major cities, claiming theft and organized retail crime have made the environment unsafe for staff and customers and unsustainable for business. Separately, more than a dozen people were arrested Monday after hordes, multiple stores were looted around Philadelphia. One reason the police believe the retail theft is surging is the fact that under new so-called criminal justice reform laws and policies, Soros DAs, grand theft, demon rats, the law that covers shoplifting is a crime that judges no longer can jail a person or even require bail, no matter how many times the same individual is caught. Duh! JLP went up to Sacramento to talk about that a few years ago with Dog the Bounty Hunter people. Sleepy Joe is not a good master. Commander, President Biden's dog, bit another Secret Service agent at the so-called White House, black on the inside, on Monday. It's the 11th known biting incident involving that 2-year-old German Shepherd. Come on, Commander. We're pulling for you. Right on. And watch out for the salty Mississippi River, by the way. Surge in salt water creeping up the Mississippi towards New Orleans, threatening to pollute the drinking water of about 800,000 people. It's crazy. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. Manhood Hour is coming up in the next hour. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. My biblical question for this week: what is real reality? What is real reality? That's my biblical question for this week. What is real reality? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're busy doing whatever you're doing, you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. And cozy.tv/JLP. 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 What the? All right. So what I want to do real fast. Oh, don't forget you can donate and have your comments read out loud by going to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk and rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right? I do appreciate it. Hey, let's finish those super chats, then I get back to the phone. I know we're almost done with those particular ones, and we ran out of time.
Super chats.
Super.
Being enlightened till I rise on Rumble. He is a monthly subscriber on Rumble. Rumbling along,
Thank
moaning, y'all.
Moaning.
Greenwall with a diamond. The real president walked into North Korea alone. Remember that?
That's right.
With Little Rocket Man.
There you go. What the?
Someone bought you a coffee. Jesse is guiding us to the light.
It's within. I really wish for everybody that you return to the Father, you're returning to the light, and you can really have a life. It is not natural for human beings to treat each other this way. That alone should let you know something is wrong. And then it's not natural to have fear, to have jealousy and envy and strife and gossip and be lonely and suicidal thoughts, and it's just not normal. How come that don't tell you something's wrong? Medication not going to solve that. No physical nothing can solve those problems, but they can be resolved forever. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hey, let me just ask real fast, how come they don't train Joe Biden's dog not to bite? At least not the workers.
They can't even train Joe Biden right. I don't know. That's interesting. Doesn't it say something about the owner when the pet is a little out of control?
Yep. The pet, if you see what's going on with the pet, you understand what's going on with the owner.
Just like with children.
Yep.
Terrible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then last night they had this riot.
Yeah.
The blacks were rioting in Philly.
In Philly. Okay, so according to what I saw, they rioted and looted Lululemon.
Lululemon. I'm glad you.
I know.
Good
Good thing I'm not the producer anymore. Apple and some other store, like Foot Locker, majorly, and they overwhelmed the cops, and it's crazy. According to Jack Posobiec, you met him before, Night for Freedom in D.C.
Yes.
He's on Twitter.
I remember him.
He said, "Look at what they're doing to Officer Mark Dial. Had a knife pulled on him. He defends himself. Soros DA charges him with murder. Judge exonerates this officer Mark Dial. DA refiles charges. Open war on police. Don't be next," he says. And so that's in that's something that, according to him, went down in Philadelphia.
This is why they work overtime to keep the blacks angry and family broken, because they need the blacks to be doing this so they can destroy this country.
They're going after the mostly peaceful January 6ers, the Trump. They're going after
everybody,
the cops.
The people who
but they're not. They're looking the other way for Antifa and blacks.
So what?
Looking the other way for Antifa and blacks.
Yeah. I wish the blacks would realize that they're being used, and that it's not normal to be breaking in stores and beating up cops and stuff. Look like they ought to just realize, what's wrong with me? I'm doing this.
I'm sure like one or two are waking up.
Oh, yeah, they're all starting waking up.
Yeah, we've talked to guys who've come out of
that. We just had
that.
a black call in earlier, and he's waking up.
Reformed thieves.
Yeah. Black women and men and women are waking up.
Yeah.
What a man. Thank you, Hake.
All right.
Let me go to William, our first-time call out of Ohio. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, William.
Hi, how are you?
All is well, sir.
It is nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
My son told me about you. He listens to you all the time.
Amazing. Are you on a speakerphone or something?
Should I be or what?
You should not be.
Okay. I have you on. I'm seeing you now from his text. How do I get off a speakerphone without losing contact with you?
Hold on 1 minute. Don't hang up. I'm going to let Sean help you with that, and I'll come back to you. Do not hang up, all right?
Okay.
All right. Jeremiah from California. Jeremiah, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Today I wanted to answer the biblical question.
What is real reality?
Real reality is when your vision is no, or the way you see the world is no longer clouded by like thoughts and feelings, and you're able to clearly see the present moment without losing focus.
Repeat that for me, Jeremiah.
When you no longer are distracted by thoughts, and you're able to be in the present moment, and that is real reality.
Interesting. I appreciate that, man. I want to respond to it, but I'm going to wait and put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you for that.
No problem.
I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem.
All right. Amazing. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Let me go back to William. Okay,
Hello.
William, let's try it again.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yes. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
My son told me about your website, and I have enjoyed listening to you, but my question is, cancer took my wife away from me almost a year ago, and I still grieve, and I miss her like no one would ever know, and I am kind of mad at God for doing that, and I don't know how to get God back in my life. I even tried to commit suicide, and that didn't work. I ended up in a psych ward for 10 days on suicide watch. And I am very sad still, and I don't know how I can ever become happy again. So I guess that is my question to you.
Your question is what? How can you become happy?
How can I become happy, and why am I still mad at God for taking Cindy? Cindy was a physician. She helped people her whole life, and when she retired, she volunteered at an animal shelter and helped animals her last few years.
How long had you been married?
21 years.
Nice. And so why do you think God did that?
I don't know who else would do that.
How about evil? Okay. Satan would take life. God don't take life. He gives life. The devil take life. God gives life.
Why was the devil in her life? Why did the devil take her instead of me first?
I don't know, but if I were you, I'd be grateful that she went first and not you, so you can work on yourself.
Well, yes and no. I would do anything to have her here sitting with me right now.
And let me tell you this then, the grief and the pain that you're having right now is not about your wife. It's about you. You want to use your wife so you can feel better. It's not like you're mad at God because he took her life. You're mad at God because he took away your God, and now you're feeling the pain of it. It's all ego. It's very selfish. It's not about Sydney. It's about you. And so you're pretending that it's about her. Because if it was about her, you would just be grateful for the time you have with her, and now she's gone, you would still have peace. But it's about you. It's not about Sydney, so you're lying to yourself. Why don't you be honest that it's for you and not about Sydney?
Well, I have never heard that from anyone, and I've been going to a therapist for a year, but you have just opened my eyes up, and I am grateful for that.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does. Now it does, yes.
Yeah, and you're blaming everyone but not looking at yourself. It wasn't God. It wasn't, it's not about her gone. It's about your ego. So what I recommend is that you start working on you, because your peace, your happiness will come from God and not from another human being. And if that human being is there, it'll be nice. If she or he is not there, whether it's your children or whatever, you'll be fine. Either way, because you wouldn't be looking to an outer source to make you happy. Only God can give a person peace, and perfect peace is everlasting. So what I recommend that you start working on you and stop being selfish.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I will try that. And again,
how old are you?
I'm 71.
Oh, yeah, start working on you. Overcome your anger. You still have anger?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And
yes.
And why are you holding on to anger?
Because nothing like this has ever happened to me. I lost my dad years ago. My mom is 99 and still alive.
Wow.
Yeah, and Cindy, I have two children, 43 and 40, who I love and I'm very proud of. But Cindy was something so special to me.
She was your God.
She was close.
Yeah, no, she was your God. That's why you had the pain. You lost your God.
Yeah, and so that is why
So
I am still angry with a lot of things.
Well, that's
So,
not the reason you're still angry. The reason you're angry, you have not forgiven your mother for recreating you in her image. Your mother imposed her will on you, and the anger that you have came from her. You became angry at her when you were a child, and you have not forgiven her. I recommend you go, especially if she's still living. So now you have a perfect chance to work on you, and it starts with forgiving your mother for imposing her will on you and turning you away from your father.
No, I don't think she did that, Jesse. As I still visit her once a week, and I take her flowers. I grow roses in my garden because Cindy likes roses, and I take my mom's flowers, roses that I grow, and I don't think I have resentments against her.
So
she was very strict, as my dad was, but I am glad they raised me the way they did.
When you say she was strict, how was she strict?
They were very, had to be home at a certain time, had to, go to church every Sunday, don't swear, don't smoke, don't drink. And I abided by that. And I don't think that is a bad way to live. So,
what you don't realize, and you may, but it sounds like it's not the mother's job to correct the children. It's the father's job. That's why the mother is supposed to report to the father, and the father discipline the kids because mothers don't have love, and they only have anger, and they discipline with anger, and that can cause you to become angry too.
Yeah.
And so, what else your mother did? Let me ask this way: Did your mother do anything while you living at home that would irritate you at times, and even when you left home?
She would swear, and I didn't like that. I didn't think a lady should swear.
Yeah.
She, I don't know. I thought she was a loving lady, so I don't really, she's from the Depression era, okay, and they had nothing at one time, and she did the best she could for me.
She did the best, but it was evil.
Well, yes and no. I would tend to differ with you because I don't think she had an evil bone in her body.
Really? So you think it's good to curse like that?
Well, okay, maybe that evil bone then. You are right. But
let's deal with that. Is that good or evil?
That is, in my mind, it is evil.
So we just found one evil bone in her body.
Yes, only one. Only one.
Is it good to be so strict on your children when they're growing up?
I don't know. I got sole custody of my daughter when she was 14 because my first wife was abusive, both physically and emotionally. And
she was just like your mother.
Well, I don't think my mom was physically or emotionally abusive.
You don't think being so strict on your children is abusive?
I was not that strict with my children.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your mama.
I don't know.
Is it good to be that strict with your children?
I guess not, because...
Is it good to be that strict with your children?
I guess not, because...
Is it good to be that strict with your children?
No.
We just found another bone, evil bone in her body.
Yeah, I know, but...
If you want to be free, William, you got to be honest with yourself, and then God will free you up from evil. You must forgive. Before you can enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive, because you're right. Your parents did the best they could do. Her mother did it to her. She couldn't help it. And when you forgive, don't ask for forgiveness. You forgive them, then God will forgive you. then you would know God, because you don't know God yet. You just have an idea about God, and all ideas about God are lies. You want to know him, but you can't know him unless you forgive your parents.
Very well said. Yes, I have my interpretation of God, and you have your interpretation of God.
I have no interpretation of God at all. I used to, because I know how, that's why I understand where you're coming from. But all you have are ideas about God. That's why you got mad at him, thinking that he took your wife, and he had nothing to do with it, because your ideas about him are wrong. God is not an idea.
Yes.
And then those suicidal thoughts you had when you tried to take your life, those came from your God, the devil. He convinced you to try to take your life. Sin is God, is not worth living. What will you do? You're not worth anything. Take your life. You're like, all right, Daddy, and you went and tried to take your life. You're worshiping the devil.
Yeah, thank you. I never looked at suicide as that way, but I looked at it as a way to end my sorrows and misery. And I now look at it as I have a therapist. I am on antidepressants, and I do have a lot to live for.
You have a dumb therapist. He or she trying to give you medication to solve spiritual issues. That won't work.
Yes, I know, but the antidepressant does help. It's on the lowest dose. When I was in the psych ward, they put me on a high dose, and they kept weaning me down to see what was best for me, and they ended up putting me on the lowest dose of Celexa.
How about, I'm not telling you to stop taking your medication, I'm not a doctor, but how about going and forgiving your mother, forgive your father, though he's gone. He couldn't help. He did the best he could as well. And so that God can forgive you. And have you heard about my silent prayer?
I have not. I say this is the first day I was on. My son told me about you. He listens to you all the time. I was so impressed with you that I had to call in and talk to you.
Well, I want to encourage you. You still do your little hooping and hollering, but do the silent prayer so you can be still and know God.
Okay.
It's rebuildingaman.com/prayer or silentprayer.video. And I want you to start working on yourself so you can have life, because if you drop your body in misery, that's all you're going to ever have is misery. But if you drop your body in perfect peace, that's all you will ever have is perfect peace. And that's how you don't want to die in misery. Dying, taking your life, trying to overcome your misery is not the answer. You're just going to be stuck in misery. But if you drop your body in perfect peace, you will always have perfect peace, because your body will disappear, but the real you is never going to die, and you don't want to get stuck in hell for the rest of your life.
Thank you. Thank you for that, those kind words. You have been so helpful today.
And one last thing, this fear of facing your mother, because you will feel fear. The devil going to tell you, oh, don't hurt her feeling. She's 90 years old. How will she react? All those are lies coming from the devil, right? However she reacts is on her. It has nothing to do with you. So if you do feel fear about it, shake in your boots, but forgive your mother and overcome fear.
Thank you. Thank you for that. You have been more helpful than you will ever know today.
Amazing. I wish you well. You want to live. You don't want to die. What's up?
I'm going to the park today and walking my little dog. So
there you go.
I'm going to enjoy the day.
And just know,
I will talk to you. I will talk to you again.
All right, and just know that all those thoughts you have about Sydney and about life are all lies. Sydney is gone. She doesn't exist right now. It's time for you to live and have a life. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I wish you well. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Amazing. The devil does the same thing to everybody. He tell everyone the same lie. Your life ain't worth nothing. Cindy gone. God took her. He lied on God. The devil is. Return to perfect peace and be done with evil. Return to perfect evil. Perfect good, not perfect evil, but perfect good. All right, it's in us. It's in everybody that wants it. Everybody. And I don't care what you've done, how bad you think it was, or what other people think about it. You go free. It wasn't you. It was something else driving you. The same spirit that told William to take his life because he's so miserable, you don't have sin, take your life. That's the same spirit that tells everyone to do wrong, and it prevents you from being right. It's no different. Different situation, but the same spirit. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in you. Isn't that something? Stop letting the devil take your life. The kingdom of heaven is here. It's done. The real you is free. All this not you mess that's going on inside, it's not you. It's not you. Let me go to Christian. A first time call. There's one line open, 888-7753-773. Let me go to Christian, a first time call out of New York. Christian, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. How's everything, man?
All is well. How you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm calling because, I grew up like the same way, like a lot of people have. Well, I grew up in a lesbian home, and I grew up in, I guess, like growing up, my mother, like, it was like imposing her will on me, so I pretty much like lived through her,
Yeah.
And so my brother, he actually put me on to you, and he was just telling me about God and forgiving. So I went and I forgave my mother. And I'm in college now, and and he's telling me he moved out of New York. He lives in Ohio. So he's telling me to come and live with him. But right now I'm in college, and I put in a lot of work into it, and I'm almost done. But now that I realize it might be that I think I kind of went to college, like, through my mother, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Your mother's living through you.
Yeah, exactly. And I realized, listening to what you've been saying about get out of the home, you got to get away from your mother, I realized it now, I need to go. I need to get away.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so, I was thinking about, finishing school here because I'm almost done. But the thing is, since I'm in New York, it's a little expensive to try to live on my own. And I don't have people who, think the same way. Everybody, around me, they got, something going on with them and with their own spirits and things.
Yeah. Christian, hold for me. Can you hold for me? Let me take a break.
Yeah, no problem.
Hold on. 888-7753-773. Quick break. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Welcome back, 888-775-3773. Brand new episode of The Fallen State this Friday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Very interesting discussion with Marquise Moore. Marquise. He is a businessman, rapper, and podcaster. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
Most definitely.
Your generation of women completely out of control.
Women gonna do what they think men like. Everybody wanna be loved. To my understanding, God left responsibility to the man.
Everybody and their mama have big butts.
Yeah.
White women used to have nice.
Yeah.
No, they walk around with big butts.
They lust on different levels.
When they sit down, look like they sit on a yoga ball. Very interesting discussion. You're going to like this. You really, really will. This Friday at 12 noon Pacific time. The Hake Report coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, 9 p.m. Pacific time. And at 11 a.m., wow, Hassan. 2 S's in Hassan. Wow, W-O-W Hassan. Walking on Water at 11 a.m. every Wednesday. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. All right? I'm going to get to your super chats here in a minute. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk and Bar JLP on Cash App. I want to go back to Christian. Christian's in college. He's almost done. His brother wants him to move down to Florida, I believe. He's, trying to decide which way to go right now. Christian, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, Jesse. So, yeah, basically, I'm almost done, but I have to get out of the home, man. I gotta move out because basically in my home it's completely divided. Like everybody just like does their own thing because nobody wants to talk to like my mom or her girlfriend. And I understand that, but I just can't like live in that, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to I go to school and I come back home and then I deal with that. And I'm almost done, but
when will you be done?
Say it again.
When will you be done in college? With college?
If everything goes to plan, about a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
And
I'm almost done. So
your question for me is what?
Yeah, my question is basically, am I still like? Do you think am I still living through my mother, staying there and going to college instead of just leaving my brother, or should I just like stay strong a little bit longer and finish it and then do what I have to do.
Which do you want to do?
I want to leave 100%. That's the first priority for me.
You want to leave college or you want to leave home?
I want to leave home.
Oh, okay. And do you want to finish college?
Yeah, but if I think I'd be willing to take that sacrifice if that's like the last option.
And how often do you go home?
Oh, every day I live there.
Oh, you live at home right now? I thought you lived.
Yeah, I live at home.
I thought you were living on campus or something like that.
No.
Are you able to get a job and just work the job and live on campus until you finish school?
Now, I go to a community college. There's no campus there, and I am working as well.
Oh, I see.
I'm doing a lot of things to stay out of the home right now.
So you want to finish school, but you want to leave home, right?
Yeah, I want to leave home more than I want to finish school.
Interesting. Here's what I recommend. Since you're so close to finishing school, but here's what I recommend. Where's your father?
He passed away.
Oh, okay. And when you went and forgave your mother, what did she say?
She just basically she just cried and said, I thought what I was doing was like the best thing for you, and I didn't know what I was doing was like wrong for you.
Yeah. And she's right.
That was pretty much.
She's doing the best she can. Here's what I recommend. Since you're not clear whether you should leave or not, I want you to start doing it. Have you tried my silent prayer yet?
Yeah, I do it when I wake up and before I go to sleep.
Okay. I want you to continue to do that every day, every morning, every night, and during the day, bring your mind back. Instead of thinking about the past or the future, bring your thoughts back, your mind back to your body. And for now, I recommend, but do what you want, that you stay in school so you can finish, stay home, but overcome by staying with the prayer. And so whatever's going on at home, it won't affect you. And since you don't know what to do, continue what you're doing until you see what to do. It's not good to make a move without seeing what you're doing or knowing what to do, right? So just continue what you're doing. Don't be angry. Be patient. And your mother has apologized. She's right. She thought she was doing the right thing. So make sure you forgive her. And just continue with school. Do the silent prayer. And you'll see the next thing to do. Don't resent your situation at all so you can overcome it.
Okay. All right.
What do you think about that?
I appreciate it. I think that's good advice, just to be present in my position instead of thinking about the future.
Absolutely. Be present.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, man. Stay present and don't just make quick moves without seeing what you're doing, because if you just drop everything and move to Florida or move out of your home right now, you're going to be making the wrong decision because you didn't see clearly to do that. And so just do the silent prayer, be at peace wherever you are, and you'll see the next step to take.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, so and stay out of your head about it, because the deceiver, which is in the imagination, will deceive you and make you make the wrong move, cause you to make the wrong move.
So it's wise to just stay present.
Yes, 100%.
All right. I'll do that then.
All right, buddy. Let me know how it goes.
All right, for sure I will. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too, man. It's always best, if you don't see clearly what to do nothing. Just continue what you're doing. Stay present, and the light will guide you. The light will guide you. Who is this on one net? Sean? Braden is a first-time call out, Louisiana. Braden.
Hey.
Welcome to the
Jesse.
show. You're on the air.
What's going on, dude?
All is well.
Great. I just want to give a shout-out to Daniel Wilson in Louisiana. It's my buddy.
Okay.
And I got a question.
Go ahead.
Jesus Christ, do you consider Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior?
What does that mean?
Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
I don't know what that means.
Well,
what does it mean?
Did he die on the cross for your sins?
Yeah, he died for all of us. Absolutely. Yeah, he did. But what does it mean, accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to know if that was the case for you.
I don't know what it means. Have you done that?
Yeah. But
how do you know
anyway,
you've done it if you don't know what it means?
Anyway, I really like what you're doing.
No, but I want your help. I need your help. How do you know?
No, it's okay.
How do you know you've done it?
Thank you so much, okay? Jesse, you're awesome, all right?
I know, but Brady, a lot of people will ask me, other people ask me about that as well. Tell people what that means so those who want to do it be able to do it.
It's pretty cut and dry, but they'll figure it out on their own, okay? God bless you, Jesse, okay?
Thank you, buddy.
And Daniel Wilson.
Thank you, man. 888-7753-773. If someone asks you if accepted Jesus your Lord and Savior, they should be able to, and if they have done it, they should be able to tell you how to do it. What does it mean? It has to be more than just words. Thank you, Braden. I do appreciate it. Let me go out to Florida and talk to Zeus out of Florida. Let's see here. Zeus, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How are you doing?
All this well, sir. Thank you.
Nice. So it's funny, the last guy, my question is related to that. What does it mean to be a Christian? So, like, for example, I've listened to you for a while. I enjoy your show. I appreciate your work. And, like, I enjoy listening. And sometimes you'll ask somebody, are you a Christian? What does that mean?
Well, for those who say that they are Christians, I think it means what Braden just said, accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior. But it just words with no meaning, to be honest with you. Are you a Christian, Brady? I mean, Zeus?
Well, here's the thing. I've always thought if you've asked me that question, how would I answer it? And if that's the explanation, I've accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, no, I'm not a Christian. And here's the thing. I grew up, like, in my high school years as a Bible thumper. And I have actually talked to Hake about this on the Hake Report. Check out the Hake Report. Good show. But I used to be a Bible thumper, and that's what I thought it meant. I don't believe that anymore.
And what do you believe now?
I believe what it means to be Christian is to be like Jesus. So we got to be like our big brother, Jesus, right? What does that mean? I believe it means a few things. I believe it means standing up to Mama, just like how you guys did that one story when they were, I think, in Egypt, and Mary was freaking out, and Jesus told Mama how the cow ate the cabbage. So being like Jesus is standing up to Mama. And then also, it's facing storms, both metaphorically and realistically, right? So, like, life's going to test you, but you got to face the storm like Jesus did. So, bam, you're being like your big brother Jesus.
Oh, amazing. I appreciate that, man. I got to run because of time, but thank you for that. Zeus, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Have a great day, Jesse.
You too, man. Okay. In all honesty, it's funny too, and that I used to think the way Braden think, but it's just words. It has no meaning. But I do want to tell you, Christianity is the best religion on this side of heaven because it brings you back to the Father. by causing you, if you want to admit that you're wrong. Thank you, Zeus. I appreciate it. Let me type a note here and find out something first. Let me go to Thomas, and we'll get to your super chats in a minute. I want to go to Thomas out of Michigan. Let's see here. There's one line open at 888-7753-773. Thomas, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So I was calling about, really I had a question. Why do you say all thoughts, if I'm saying it right, are all lies all the time?
Because they are.
Oh, okay.
Except for practical thoughts, like getting in a car and drive on the right side of the road, or
right.
What do you want for go to
work? Is that biblical from your perspective, or you just made it up yourself?
Well, no, I didn't make it up. It's true. And it is true, yes.
Okay, because what I did,
when you said biblical, what do you mean by biblical?
In the Bible, because I said, well, let me see what Jesse is talking about, because I'm not a thumper, but I was raised in the church and all of that, and I never heard that. So when I pulled that up, it said that Paul was saying that we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. So is that what you're referring to, and maybe twisted it a little bit to, or maybe misconstrued it, and you didn't understand what he was saying? Because the way that they go into that is that you should take bad thoughts into captivity. Like if you want to steal, if you're lusting, if you want to kill, rob, and to be obedient to Christ, you can't do those things. So we all have thoughts that's not just from the devil that we create because we have a brain.
All that you're saying right now, is that biblical?
Yeah.
So it said only bring the negative ones?
No, not just negative. It says if it's not being obedient to Christ. So I think negativity is not being obedient to Christ.
And what is being obedient to Christ?
By just being righteous. By, like that caller just said.
How can you be righteous?
By doing the right things in life. By being, I guess, Christ-like. When people say I'm a Christian, Christian just means to be Christ-like, to be righteous, to be good, to love, to respect.
And where did you get that from?
Well, there's some verses on here. I don't want a Bible verse like that, but it was just saying.
Is that biblical to say be Christ-like?
Yeah, well, Christianity, or the term Christian, does mean to be Christ-like. It's not just to accept Jesus as the Lord and Savior.
Is it biblical to be Christ-like?
Yeah, that's from the Bible. That's what Christianity actually comes from. People want to be Christ-like, to be righteous.
In the Bible, it tells you to be Christ-like?
No, it doesn't tell you to be that, but that's what people
how did you come up with that then? Are you twisting that?
No, I'm not twisting it. I'm saying,
how did you come up with that?
I'm trying to explain it. If you look at, and that wasn't my question, if you look at the history of how Christianity became and why people say, I'm a Christian, they're trying to be Christ-like. And then you said, well, those are just words. So when you say that, why do you ask people, so are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? If it doesn't mean anything, why did you care about that term?
Where did you get the idea to be Christ-like? It's not biblical. Where did you get it from?
It's not biblical, but it's in the history of how the word was created.
And where is that history of how the word was created?
It's just in any history book. If you Google, you can Google it. If you just look up where did the term Christ come from, or study any book to find out the history of Christianity.
And so are you Christ-like?
But let me ask another. Yeah, but let me ask.
I want you to explain this for me. God said every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. Genesis 8:21. And Genesis 8:6-5, even though this is not Bible Thumper Day, every inclination of the thought of the human heart was only evil all the time.
Exactly.
Was God lying when he said that every thought is a lie, is evil?
No, he didn't say that every thought is a lie. He said, what's the word that you just said? Inclination?
Every inclination of the heart, of the thoughts, of the
what a man
human heart, every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time.
Meaning.
And so now do you understand why I say all thoughts are all lies all the time?
No, because that's not in the Bible.
Have you? I just read it to you.
You didn't read it word for word. You said all thoughts are all lies all the time.
Okay,
that's
listen
not
to
in
me.
there.
In Genesis
you.
6:5, every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time.
Yeah.
Do you accept that?
Yes, I understand what you just said.
And so do you understand that all thoughts are all lies all the time?
No, because it doesn't say that. It says the inclination, Mr. Peterson.
And what does inclination mean?
It means a person's natural tendency, an urge to act or feel in a particular way. Meaning if you act it or you think it, so you are.
So
if
it
I act
doesn't
or
mean
think about killing.
It doesn't mean that the directions of the thoughts are evil. Inclination mean that.
If you're talking about evil thoughts, but it doesn't mean all thoughts. Just like you said. Hold on, I just want to say one thing. Just like
I do appreciate it, buddy. 888-7753-773. If you want to believe all thoughts are not lies or evil, it's up to you. The devil got you. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. You want a no-thinking life. Bring every thought into captivity. You want a no-thinking life, but if you want a thinking life, I wish you well. No sweat off my forehead. Amazing. I'm typing. Let me go to Aaron out of Texas. There's one line open, 888-7753. This is not Bible Thumper Thursday. Call me on Bible Thumper Thursday. You want to go on and on back and forth like that. Aaron out of Texas. Aaron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
I just want to make a point to try to call you once a week and say God bless you and thank you for all the wisdom that you're sharing with us, even though some people don't accept it. You know what I'm saying?
You're welcome, man. Thank you. Stay with it.
Yes, sir.
Stay with it. Most people are not going to accept the truth. It's always been that way. It always will be. But for those who want the truth, they're hearing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for spreading it.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
You have a great day, Jesse.
You too. Thank you, Aaron. Amazing. Some people are getting it, some don't. Look, if you want to believe that all thoughts are not all lies all the time, totally believe it. And let it be biblical. It's just biblical. I'll be back in a moment. One more hour to go. The Hake report. I mean the hate news. The hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
The government is suing Amazon for unfair competition. Who's going to sue the government? Strikes update, boring. The debate tonight, boring. And another tech CEO was murdered. This is the third one found dead, I guess. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Wednesday, September 27th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3, Manhood Hours, coming right up, guys. And you can call in to get on air with JLP right now. And he will get to your calls. But first, Hake News, not fake news. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report. And after the Hake Report, wow, Hassan, talking about the Confederate stuff I heard. He mentioned that on my show yesterday. Walking on Water Hassan on YouTube. And of course, American Anchor Baby after that on YouTube and Rumble. Evil government versus evil Amazon. Coming on Nonsense Network, CNN reports the U.S. government and 17 states are suing Amazon in a landmark monopoly case reflecting years of allegations that the e-commerce giant abused its economic dominance and harmed fair competition. Lawsuit by the Federal Trade Commission alleges Amazon unfairly promotes its own platform and services like Prime at the expense of third-party sellers who rely on the company's e-commerce marketplace for distribution. The FTC's complaint seeks a court order blocking Amazon from engaging in the allegedly anti-competitive behavior, and the agency isn't ruling out a possible breakup of the company. Amazon issued a response to the lawsuit, warning it may lead to higher prices and slower deliveries for consumers and hurt businesses, they claim. Those strikes, the Hollywood writers' strike is finally over after 148 days. Darn. After leaders of the Writers Guild of America unanimously voted to authorize their members to return to work. Tentative agreement marks a turning point for Hollywood's film and TV studios. Sick place. After both the WGA and SAG-AFTRA, the actors union, went on strike this summer to fight for so-called higher pay and protections against AI, artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, Sleepy Joe Biden joined a picket line of auto non-workers in Michigan on Tuesday in an effort to shore up additional support among so-called blue-collar voters. Analysts are also watching the development of potential strikes among healthcare workers or non-workers and culinary and bartenders unions in Las Vegas. Republican debate. The second presidential debate with the rhinos will take place later today at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library up in Simi Valley, California. 7 GOP candidates set to debate. Trump has decided to skip, as you know. The 2-hour debate scheduled to start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. That's 8 Central. Hosted by Fox Business and Univision, that Mexican show channel. Hispanic, anyway. CNN will cover the debate, of course, too, in case you wanted to know. Tech CEOs keep getting murdered. Another one got killed. A woman in Baltimore. Police issued an arrest warrant for the death of EcoMap Technologies CEO and founder Pava Lepere. EcoMap is a daily data curation company. She got Forbes 30 under 30 list. Police said the 26-year-old was found dead earlier this week with signs of blunt force trauma inside of her apartment, or an apartment anyway. Her death is the latest in the tech world. You know, Cash App's founder Bob Lee was stabbed to death in April up in SF. That looked like it was actually targeted. It wasn't just some homeless bum or a random black. And Sober Grid app founder Bo Mann was found dead in May. Civil rights black pawn against censorship. Suppressing knowledge does not serve us well, said Elizabeth Eckford, surviving member of the so-called Little Rock Nine, raising concerns about efforts in schools to limit access, communist buzzword, to portions of American history. Yeah, right. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She spoke on Monday during an event marking 65 years since the Little Rock Nine became the first black students to desegregate schools and break the color barrier in Arkansas. So maybe you don't censor the whites? Ever think of that, lady? Crazy wedding disaster in Iraq. Maybe I'll tell you about it on the Hake Report. But for now, back to JLP, Manhood Hour.
stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. You can get involved by calling 888. There is a line open, two lines open right now. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week: what is real reality? What is real reality? You can listen to the show on your iPhone, iPad if you're busy and can't sit and watch it right now. You're hanging out at the beach or whatever you might be doing. You can listen to the show on your iPhone, iPad by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv. COZY, where Christ is King. Cozy.tv/JLP. Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe, and do all those things. All right? And we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you want, you can donate and have your comments read out loud on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. It's Wednesday. It's the third hour of the show today. And every Wednesday, the third hour is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, beta. Beta male. A man is a male who turned to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way.
Michelle Obama says it was never easy being the wife of a driven politician.
You know, I'm working and managing childcare and trying to coordinate my job. And
your husband works and you're like literally stuck at home.
Tensions started to arise.
Like, I don't want to cry, but I am exhausted.
Something I struggle with so much is how much I am needed all the time.
I can't do anything without getting anxiety.
Having a kid is too complicated.
I mean, it's just, can you be quiet, please? Go get it.
I can't believe it. Keep calm and they will be calm.
I said it already once now. Please turn off the TV. Mommy is very busy today.
You're going down.
All three girls by midweek start testing her patience.
One of the most challenging feelings that you probably have as a mom is rage and anger.
Sit still!
That literally happens to every mom that I've ever spoken to be honest.
Amazing, to be honest.
She knows she's still the boss.
That's where the trauma starts, at home with mama. It's mama who are destroying the children, who is destroying the children. It's not the father. It's the mama. That rage and that anger destroy the innocence of the child. And the child wake up remade in the image of the mother. And it goes on for generation and generation until somebody say, no, I'm forgiven. I'm going to pass love down to my children. I'm going to be of love. And those women are angry women, and they're destroying the children. And they're going to blame it on somebody else when the kids get older. They're going to blame it on the father. Oh, your daddy wasn't there. Amazing, huh? It's spiritual. Let me do this, and then I get back to the calls and super chats at 888-7753-773. I want to give you, because I have to tell you, men, the world needs you. The men are the light of the world and the salt of the earth, except that they've been turned away from the source that gives them the light to pass on to the world. And as a result, they're doing things that they don't realize, they don't know it. They make no sense, but they do it anyway. And they don't examine themselves to overcome it. Some do. A lot of men are doing it now, but most don't. They just repeat the same thing over and over and over again because they are in prison. And in that cell, they just walk around the cell making the same mistakes. Because they listen to the same instructor, which are the thoughts, which is of their father, the devil. So I want to give you 5 more rules for men. It's Manhood Hour. 5 more rules. We have given 10 before. Now I have 5 more to add to that. Thanks to my producer. Well done stuff, Sean. Thank you. 5 more rules. Number 1, men don't own a small dog. Don't own. Can someone show Hassan with the picture? You have it? Oh, you have it, right?
Yes, sir.
Look at that. Men don't own a small dog. Don't walk with a small dog. And don't walk with a small dog in a stroller.
This pic right here is actually on my mood board of life goals.
What, to walk with a small dog?
Well, this specific picture of The Rock with the French Bulldog.
With the what?
This specific picture with The Rock, that's The Rock, and he's with his French Bulldog.
He with what?
He's with his French Bulldog.
His French Bulldog?
Yeah, but that's The Rock.
How you know that's his friend dog?
No, that's a French Bulldog.
Oh, it's a little one.
Yeah.
and why you call him a rock?
No, that's his name. Well, his name is Dwayne, but he's called The Rock.
Why?
I don't know. He used to be a wrestler.
And so The Rock walk around with a small dog.
Yeah. But this is like life goals for me.
To walk around with a small dog?
Well, like a mood board to like potentially be that big body-wise and still have
you want to be a body like that man?
Yeah.
Well, you better get busy. It ain't going to happen until you start working on it.
I do the dog first. The dog, and then the body comes.
So don't walk with a small dog. Don't own a small dog. And do not put the dog in your arms like you got a baby. Look at that big old man pushing a dog in a baby stroller. What a mess. That man got a dog in the stroller. Look how big he is.
It's actually a pretty decent one. I've looked at a few.
Decent what?
Stroller.
But he should be having no dog in there.
I know. They got some real intense ones at this one store I go to.
It's really abnormal for men to walk around pushing strollers with babies in them. You definitely don't want to do it with a dog. Who let the dog out? Number 2, don't drive an electric car. Get a real car. Watch this.
People who drive EVs love their cars.
Yeah, so I love it.
It's because they feel like they know the secret that no one else knows, that like EVs are an awesome drive.
It's totally electric and just love it.
It's really exciting.
There you go.
Let's talk about how quiet this car is. Because it doesn't have an engine, you don't even know it's on, but you know it's on. You don't have an engine going.
Nice.
And you're riding on the road. It glides. It's so refreshing.
There you go.
At its core, an electric car is really just a battery, an electric motor, and a set of wheels.
They're so simple, taking care of the tires and making sure that there's wiper fluid.
I got a full tank of electricity.
Amazing. See, an electric car is a woman's car. And you hear all the reasons why. It make no noise. It drives smooth. You're just gliding. A man don't want to glide. A man want to ride. Make noise. An electric car is for women, not for men. And number 3, don't get with a female who already has a child. I've been saying that forever. Do not get with a female who already has a child. Watch this from House of Wellness.
Children come into the mix. That can be challenging when you're trying to start a relationship, especially for those who've never had kids or been around them much.
So, to help us out, we are joined by relationship and intimacy expert, the lovely Dr. Nikki Goldstein. Nikki, what do we do? What happens when we meet someone that has kids?
I think it's really important that we don't see this as baggage, because I feel like we've had these myths circulating around that, oh, you don't want anyone that has baggage. So we actually need to change the mindset and start going, children in a relationship, like somebody that has previous children, can bring more love and fulfillment rather than seeing it as baggage. Once we start having those conversations about changing that mindset, I think then we're in a position to actually look at it in a different way.
Fascinating.
Great advice. Thanks, Dr. Nikki.
Thank you.
She want to put it on your mind, make you deceive you, right? Try to make it sound, oh, this is so nice, so lovely. So, see how emotional women are? They dress up hell and present it as good. Children want their own father, natural father, and natural mother. Don't do it. You're going to catch pure hell. It's going to be hell enough already with your children, your wife and children. To take on somebody else's children is not going to work. And these women try to dress it up. This is why every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer. Now look how they dress up hell and make it all fluffy, and now you want to run out and find a woman with a child because they made it all fluffy and nice. Don't do it. Number 4, don't let your mother, your grandmother, or your aunt live with your family. Watch this from this morning.
Let's speak to Kelly first of all. Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
Hi. You've been married for 4 years and you've got a 10-month-old son together.
Yeah.
And how's your relationship with your in-laws?
Basically, it was really good to start off with, but then she just started to get involved in everything. And at first, it wasn't too bad, but then she was like taking over, like, he needs this much milk, and he needs to go to bed at this time, and it was just like, you're not his mum, and it was causing arguments between me and my husband. And then I remember one time I'd fed him, and she was like, no, he hasn't had enough milk. She gave him milk without my permission, and he threw up everywhere.
Yeah, I heard the women to hear the truth.
Does your husband see this? Has he logged it?
He's a mummy's boy, so he doesn't really see it as much, and he doesn't really think that she's doing any harm.
And also it's difficult because she thinks she's trying to help. She's not doing anything nasty or mean. She's doing it with the best intentions to try and help.
She's lying. She's doing nasty and mean. She don't like the wife. Don't let mama, grandmama, or your aunt live with your family. You will regret it. And last but not least, and see how hard it is? The woman, oh, she's not trying to be nasty and mean. Yes, she is. What's she doing living with you anyway? And last but not least, of the 5 rules for men, 5 more rules for men. Number 5, if a woman called the cops on you, listen, guys, this should be like a natural understanding. You should already know this, and don't let the devil give you excuses. If a woman called the cops on you, leave and be done with her. The moment she called the cops, it's over. It's like when you first meet a woman and you go on that first date and you just order coffee or drink or whatever you order, and you ask why they bring the order in, you ask, are you willing to obey me? And if she says no, okay, bye. And be out of there, be done. Because she said, no, I'm not going to obey you. You're just going to be in trouble. So number 5, if a woman calls the cops on you, leave and be done with her. Watch this from officers, reporters. Watch this.
Every little quarrel, they are ringing the cops. Every little quarrel, they are ringing the police. If you do this, it's not cool. If you have a habit of doing it, it's not cool. Yeah, we're in the Western world where everything works for the woman, sort of. The authority, the system protects the woman. But it doesn't mean that we don't have common sense. This happens all the time. I hear people coming saying it like it's fashion, that their husband did this, that, and they rang the police. And the police came and took them away. What are you teaching your kids? What kind of marriage are you creating for yourself? How would that man ever get to trust you? Women are meant to respect their husband no matter what they do. I'm not saying that men should get away with murder. No. But all I'm saying is calling the cops on your husband is not cool. Thank you.
Amazing. Good advice. It's not cool. When a woman called the cops on you, men, she said, I hate you. I hate your children. I hate myself. I hate you. And I'm going to make you suffer. And she knows that once she called that cop, she can't even change her mind. She can't say, I was just playing. And you are guilty without even proof, evidence. Before a trial, the cops assume that you did it. It's time to wake up. For those who like to wake up, you can wake up and have life, or you can stay asleep and have death. So number 1, don't own a small dog, don't walk a small dog, and don't walk a small dog in a stroller. Number 2, don't have an electric car. Get a real car. Electric cars are made for women. Number 3, don't get with a female who already has a child. Don't get with a female who already has a child. And don't let your mother or grandmother or aunt live with your family. And number 5, that was number 4. And number 5, if a woman called the cop on you, leave and be done. You just heard it from a woman telling you that. It's not cool. The devil is in the details. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Darnell, a first-time call out of Indiana. Darnell, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Darnell? No, Darnell. 888-7753-773. That's the line open. Let me go to Ronnie out of Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. Ronnie, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Uncle Jesse, how we doing today?
All is well, sir. How are you?
All is well. Life is good. God been good to me. I cannot complain.
Nice.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to call and ask, you normally do give some good advice. I wouldn't say that all of your advice is good. But in the midst of giving advice, I want to know if you think that you've ever contradicted yourself.
Not that I can remember offhand.
Okay. So when you say things like, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days and I want my country back.
Right.
And then you tell people that yesterday doesn't exist. Is that not a contradiction?
No.
Why not?
You think of that as a contradiction?
I think if you're talking about bring me back how things were yesterday or 3 or 4 decades ago, that you're looking at yesterday in the past, and then you tell people that yesterday doesn't exist.
Oh, and what do you think I mean by yesterday? When I say I want my country back or bring back those good old days, what do you think I mean by that?
What do you mean if you're not talking about the past?
I'm talking about when fathers and mothers were together raising their children and teaching their children how to treat themselves and others. I'm thinking about when there were jobs and people who committed crime, punished, put in jail, wasn't based on color, but it's commit the crime, things like that. When folks were working, they drilled oil and they bought land and that kind of stuff.
So you don't think that we're drilling oil, or that people are working, or that people are raising their kids, or that criminals aren't going to jail?
For the most part, it's not happening. And even in Alaska, Joe Biden administration they wouldn't even allow the people to drill there. They stopped the drilling there. They wouldn't renew the permit to drill.
Okay, so back to my original point, even if all of that stuff is true or not true, when you talk about those things from the past, how is that not contradicting yourself when you say that yesterday doesn't exist and all we have is right now?
I don't quite understand the question concerning that. Do you see? You don't see what I mean about those things?
Those are examples we can, like I said, we can go back and forth on.
Right.
I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. I think my original question is still valid, and where you tell people yesterday doesn't exist. I agree when you say don't worry about tomorrow.
Right.
And then all we have is now. But when you constantly live in the past or dwell on the past and then tell people yesterday doesn't exist, I see that as a contradiction.
Well, I don't quite, even though I have just explained to you what I mean by it, you still see it as a contradiction?
Yeah, because you're talking about the past and things that aren't happening right now,
but
and then tell other people that yesterday doesn't exist.
But those things can happen right now. Only thing, all the people have to do is start doing it.
And I would still contest that those things are happening. As a parent and somebody that works 40 plus hours a week and raises my daughter, I see, and my friends, I see parents locally and I guess in the news media that are working hard and taking care of their families, and I see criminals going to jail every day. So to say that those things aren't happening, that might be something else that we can add to the list of things that you say that are either contradictory or perhaps untrue.
Do you think that I'm telling people to live in the past by saying I want my country back?
No.
Do you think I'm living in the past when I say I want? But why do you think I'm living in the past then?
I don't say living in it.
Not living, but why you say why you see a contradiction?
Because you reflect on it, you dwell on it, and you bring it up. And then you tell people that yesterday doesn't exist, even though you talk about yesterday or back in, you'll go back 70 years, 60 years and talk about how things were then. And then if 60 years ago doesn't exist, if yesterday doesn't exist, how did 60 years ago exist?
So you believe that reflecting is believing that there is a past?
I think if you talk about how things were 60 years ago, then that means 60 years ago had to exist. And how can 60 years ago exist if yesterday does not?
It did exist, but it existed then. It just exists now, except in the imagination.
Okay, I guess so.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Uncle Jesse, you have. Oh, real quick. I know you said men shouldn't get electric cars because they made for women.
Right.
What about an electric pickup truck?
Does it make no? I've not heard an electric pickup truck drive how it sounds. Is it soft like a car?
I'm not sure. I'm a Dodge Ram driver myself.
Nice.
And I know that the new Dodge Ram is they got an electrical version of it. So I was going to do some research and see if I can make Joe Biden or them pay for it if I get one. But I didn't want to do it if it's not manly.
Once you go and check it out, if it make no noise, if it just glides across the road, I wouldn't recommend it. You want a manly truck.
Understood, huh? All right, I appreciate you taking my call. Have a good rest of it.
You too, buddy. Thank you for the call.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. 888-7753-773. Let me go to first-time caller out of Arizona, Gabriel. Gabriel out of Arizona. Gabriel, welcome to the show. You're on the air. What'd you say? Sorry about that. Hold on. Gabriel, welcome to the show. I hit the wrong line. Welcome to the show, Gabriel. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, sir. Thanks for asking.
Well, my question today for you is it bad to ignore your mother? Because there's so many things wrong, and every time I deal with her, it just pulls me down, and she's very imposing.
Have you forgiven her for the way she is? For what she done?
I do, but then next time she does something, it just comes right back up.
Well, ignore. Don't just stay away from her and keep her away from you. Just don't be angry.
But I'm always worried that she's going to die and I'm going to regret it.
Why will you regret her dying? You have nothing to do with that.
Because I didn't fulfill my promise as a son.
What was your promise?
To be there for her.
Why did you make that promise? You're not her husband.
She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have anybody.
She made you her husband?
She tries to.
And so you like being her husband?
No.
So why did you make that promise then?
She guilted me into it.
How old are you?
24.
And so why not overcome the guilt and get away from her? And if she dies, she just dead. She dead. You don't have control over life and death.
But what if she keeps, she always imposes herself. Every time I try to move away, she just comes closer.
Do you live with her?
Unfortunately.
You live with your mother?
Well, I live with my mom, my uncle, and my grandma.
Wow. What a mess. And are you afraid of your mother?
Physically, no.
Spiritually,
but
yes?
I'm afraid that I'm going to regret if I do anything to separate myself from her.
So then, if you feel that way, why are you complaining then? If you don't want to be separated from her?
Well, I don't know. I got to find a happy medium?
Hold on 1 minute, okay? Hold on. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step with faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Amazing. 888-7753, 773-888-77 Jesse. There's a line open there. Quick announcement before I go back to the phones and super chats. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour, right after my show, from 9 to 11. And then at 11 a.m. Pacific time, Wow Hassan. At 11 a.m. And at 12, the American Anchor Baby. All right? And if you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. By phone, Skype, or walk-in, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And for a personalized shout-out, you can go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right? Let me go back to Gabriel, first-time call out of Arizona. Hey, Gabriel, so how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
You're 24. You're living with your mother, but your mother is imposing on you. She's very imposing, so you don't like that. You don't want to get away from her because you will feel guilty if she died. You made a promise to her. You made a promise that you're going to do what now?
Well, I've kind of convinced myself that the cross I have to bear is the suffering that she creates.
And then and then you said you made a promise that you would take care of her because she doesn't have anyone?
Right.
You made that promise to her?
Yeah.
And you say you did that out of guilt?
Well, I feel like that was the right thing to do.
And when you made that promise to her, what did she say?
She jumped up and down.
I bet she did. And so your question for me is what?
So more specifically, I feel like I've determined that this is kind of the cross I have to bear. Like, I have to just accept it and I have to just live with it rather than try to avoid it and ignore her.
And so your question for me is what?
Is that wrong?
This is your choice that I'm giving to you. If you love your hell, you stay in it. If you don't, you get out of it. You don't owe your mother anything. It's not your problem that she didn't get married or don't have a husband or whatever. You are a grown man. It's time for you to start living and acting that way and move on with your life. And this false guilt that you have, you need to overcome it by forgiving her. Forgive her for doing this to you, recreating her image, and move away and live your life.
I see.
But if
That
you
makes
want to
sense.
accept this as your burden, cross you must bear, then you stay there and accept the cross you must bear, and you'll be suffering unnecessarily, and your mother will destroy you.
That makes sense.
You have a job?
Yeah.
And do you want to live on your own, or you like living with her?
No, I don't like living with her, but she keeps saying that I'm leaving her homeless if I leave because I pay for a lot.
Why don't she get up and go to work?
She does work. She just gambles.
And so, why can't she pay her own bills then?
Because she buys cigarettes for $700 a month and gambles and drinks.
And you feel responsible for that. A woman that won't even take care of herself, you think you're responsible to take care of her?
Well, yeah, I don't want to see her fail and be homeless.
So you want more for her than she wants for herself?
Yes.
All right. Well, just stay in it and suffer then.
Yeah. I mean, I think there might be a happy medium if maybe she uses me as a crutch so she can go gamble and do these things. If I leave, maybe she wouldn't do it out of necessity.
But I wouldn't even care about that. I would give that no thought. That's her life. If she want to destroy her life, that's up to her. If she want to gamble and smoke cigarettes and destroy her own life, that's on her. You have no right caring about that at all.
That's true. I mean, I didn't create it in the first place.
Right. How are you going to make a happy medium with the devil?
I know. I don't even want to be around her, though. That's the problem. I need to let go of that anger.
I'm sorry?
I need to let go of the anger.
Have you forgiven her yet?
I have, but then it comes back once in a while.
You told her you forgave her?
Yeah.
Well, if you forgave her, why not get out of hell? Why'd you stay in hell if you forgave her?
I don't know.
You love your hell?
No.
You must. You love it. You won't get away from it.
It's the guilt, but I need to overcome that because, like you said, it has nothing to do with me.
Right. Guilt.
She was alive before I was alive.
Guilt is not love, man. You're doing this out of guilt. You're not doing it because you love your mother in the right way. You're doing it out of guilt. She's imposed that upon you, and she doesn't care how you feel at all. She's getting what she wants.
Yeah. Well, it feels like the right time to grow up and be a man now.
If not now, when?
Exactly.
No, that was a question.
Oh. There is nothing other than right now.
I would recommend you work on your life and get away from there, but it's up to you. If you love your hell, you stay and suffer and die. But if you want to have peace, you forgive her and go out and live your own life. You're not responsible for her at all. Where's your father?
He doesn't live here.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Do you talk to him?
Every so often.
And what does he say about you staying there out of guilt like that?
Well, I don't talk to him about this kind of stuff.
Why not?
I mean, we weren't raised with him.
So if your father can handle her, what makes you think you can?
Nobody can handle her. She's just like, nobody wants to be around her, and that's the problem. That's why I feel bad.
Why
Because
you
she's
feel
so negative?
So that's her life. Why you feel bad about what she is doing?
Yeah.
No, that was a question.
Well, I shouldn't.
And why do you?
I suppose I'm attached in some emotional way.
You are. That guilt you have is resentment, and that resentment keeping you tied to her.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Jesse. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to become a man now.
Right on. Are you doing the silent prayer?
In the mornings.
Do it at night too, man. Do it all the time so you can see your way out of this mess.
I will. I appreciate you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Same to you guys.
All right. Amazing. 888-775-3773. That's the line open. I forgot to mention that the treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Super chat. Super.
Super chat.
Super chats.
Yes, sir. Hey, coming in.
Zuzu C. bought you a coffee. Jesse, why are you so nice to every woman who calls? Scrunch face, smiling, laughing emoji. Kidding. Tell the Great White Hope to hang it up and just go live his life.
I'm grateful, Sion, that the Great White Hope, Donald Trump, want to come back and make America right again, because we need that, and the fact that he's coming back in an unselfish way, he's just doing it because he wants to make the country great again, and that's what we need in the White House. We need someone there that is not about themselves but about someone else. So I can't tell him to hang it up right now. Let's give him another 4 years or so, and then he can go rest.
Nice.
But we need him right now. All right. Thank you, Sion. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
P.S. James didn't read my last week. Super.
Who said that?
Sion. Zuzu C. Sion.
You missed one last week?
So claims she, but I'm pretty sure I read, Jesse Boo, not all but most whites are calculating sneaky snakes, except Hank, maybe.
Oh, yeah, you read that.
So I did read it.
I remember that one.
False accusations. I almost got Me Too'd by Sion. A Me Too super.
Thank you, Sion.
I have been remiss, though. I wouldn't put it past me. Sly bought you 3 coffees. Thank you, Jesse, for pointing me back to the Father. Amazing.
Stay with it. You're welcome. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Renesio bought you a coffee. Great interview with Primetime Alex Stein. Always consistent and never predictable to the ones waking up.
I was on Alex Stein's show yesterday. It was so much fun. And so he's referring to that. Check it out, all right? AlexStein.com.
I don't know if that's the website.
I don't know.
You just made up a website. walking on water with Joel.
I don't know what his website is, but
Dancing on
but
Cables
it was a lot
with
of
Joel.
fun. He's funny too.
Dancing with Jesus, JoelFriday.com. DJ bought you 3 coffees. Is it normal not to get emotional when people in your family expire? I've always looked at it in a logical way of understanding life, death, and consequences, to the point where it's hard even to shed a tear about it. People in my family think I'm crazy for how calm my reactions are.
Yes, it's normal not to, but if a few tears should come, let them pass, and don't be, don't carry on like that for long. Let it pass, and you'll be fine. But yes, it's normal, not to get emotional because you didn't die, the person died. What the? And those people who are getting emotional, it's about them. It's not about the person that died. It's selfish ego. It's all about them. Amazing. Thank you.
Lily Poo over on Rumble gave a Rumble rant saying,
You gotta know how to rumble.
The Great White Hope.
Let me see what the Great White Hope has to say today. And remind you, I don't know what he's going to say. Let me find out.
For every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated.
Nice. See there? Amazing. Thank you.
Nice. Riley JM bought a coffee. My mom asked me one time, out of the blue, if I was watching porn. I was 22 years old at the time. I told her it's none of her business.
Nice.
But I said it in an angry spirit. I was wrong for that, but she was wrong for asking an adult male that question.
I'm telling you,
she couldn't help herself.
to ask you that.
He says she couldn't help herself.
Was she watching it or something?
Crazy.
What a mess. I'm glad you dealt with that. Right on.
Matthew DePina over on Cash App gave a couple of Cash App donations. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew.
Chalice bought 5 donations on Cash App saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. I really, really want to encourage those who are getting on this straight and narrow path. You're like working on you. There are no words to express the love, the wisdom, the light, the kingdom of heaven that you will experience. And you get rid of all ideas about it because it's nothing like an idea. You can't even imagine what it's like. But you will live it and you will know it and it will be amazing. All right? So stay with. I don't care what happens out there. Wish those people well. You stay with it, and you have not seen anything. If it takes forever, you stay with it, and you stay with it, and you stay with it, and the kingdom of heaven shall be yours. While you live, you don't have to wait till you die. You have peace right now. Amazing. Thank you.
Jalen gave a Cash App donation on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, Jalen.
And Deez said amazing on Cash App.
Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me go to Darnell, a first-time caller out of Indiana. Darnell, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing today, Jackie?
All is well. Are you on a speakerphone, Darnell?
No, not anymore. But how you doing?
All is well.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, man. It's been a long time coming, and I just want to thank you for what you do, man. You're an inspiration, man. But to a lot of brothers, man, you such the opposite, though. You feel
me? In what way?
Well, when I hear, certain things that people, they feel like you go against the black community or the black neighborhoods, and you believe in white supremacy. But when I hear your message, it's just more of an encouragement to step my game up as a man. So,
I
just want to, I want to appreciate that. You know what I mean?
You're welcome, man. Stay with it. It's going to become even better for you. Stay with the truth.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, I did want to talk about something. I had a statement about something you said earlier, but I do have a two-pronged question for you.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, though, when you said you shouldn't be driving electric vehicles, I agree. Elon Musk even threw electric vehicles away. He's dealing with hydrogen vehicles now, so that tells a lot as well.
Yeah. But what happened was the reason these cars are so soft now is that they allow women to get in there and allow them to design cars, and they are designing them based on their emotions. And because they can't handle anything, but men can have the noise and rough cars and all that. And it's unfortunate that they let the women get in there and do that, but they softened our country, and it's just not good.
No, I could truly agree, what's going on. And I just kind of spin off on a second prong that I have for you when it comes to our neighborhoods or communities or whatever the case may be. But my first question to you was, I've been really trying to, build my nonprofit really, really heavily, but I see that I've been getting really rejected from dealing with different community leaders, different people just around. Like, I'm not going to let that stop the inspiration of God or whatever that's within me, whatever the case may be. But I just wanted to ask you this, though. Why do most community black leaders steal from the poor, offer grant money in certain positions, and they still broke?
Well, I don't know why they still broke, but I do know that that's why they encourage people to join groups. They encourage you to be angry. They encourage you to do what they want you to do because they're using you for their own personal gain. It's like the last call I had from Gabriel, and he was saying that he felt guilty about leaving his mother, and he made a promise to her that he would not leave or take care of her or something like that. His mother don't care about him. She only cares about herself, even if it means destroying him, knowing that he's unhappy, knowing that he doesn't want to do that. Well, when you put your life under someone else's control, they would take advantage of you and use it for their own personal gain. And this is why we are only supposed to trust God and only let him lead us, not another human being. And so, and that's why they keep the blacks angry too, because as long as they can keep the blacks angry, they know that they can control them, and they gain money and so-called power from that. And I don't blame them. I blame the adult blacks that allows that to happen, because in all honesty, each adult person is responsible for themselves and not someone else.
I don't believe in white supremacy, because I don't believe no other race is over me mentally. I don't feel like anybody is over me, whatever.
That's right. That's right.
But what would you call that? What would you call how people shift, from doing a righteous thing of God into want to be more of a, being on the news, get pat on the back, get recognition, get grant money, get plaques? What would you call that attitude? Because most people try to say, "Oh, you selling out," to white people or whatever the case may be.
Well,
so
they've never shift from God, because once you're of the Father, once you return to the Father truly, you can't turn back. There's nothing to go back to. So they have never been of God at all.
So are we technically blaming the mamas, the daddies, the grandmothers? Because I raised 3 children that weren't biologically mine, and I feel like that was a burden to me, to be honest with you, because even the mama, you more responsible than the dad is, the male figure, supposedly, or the slut maker. Well, but the thing is, the mama take things out on you instead of taking things out on them, and you the one that's helping her succeed.
Why did you do that? Why did you
get involved? Because all my life, I just really never really had a true family, so I just thought maybe adopting a family would give me some type of security in life.
I totally understand that, but that doesn't work. And that was never your true family anyway.
True, because they always say, well, the children will never forget about you. But the thing is, the children is not of my way.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the thing is, no matter if they reflect on what I gave them or not, they're not of me.
That's right.
I see the animal kingdom wise, like the lion will kill off the baby cubs if they really...
Let me do this. Are you able to call me at another time? Because the computer's going to cut us off. We're about to go off there. Are you able to call me again?
Yeah, I can, but I did want to ask you one important question real quick.
I know. It's going to cut us off. Hold on. I'll let you ask me off the air. Can you hold?
Yes.
All right. I won't hang up on you. We're out. Are we off? Oh, we're out of time. The Hake coming up. Get on the path. Stay there. After the Hake, wow. What's his name? Whatever his name. Hassan. And then the Anchor Baby. Bye.
To man up and stand up for what's right if we give our plans up. I know we can have faith in the unseen while we stand up and get back to the way we were designed to be. Must know that's so you can. Something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. We got fighting to do. We gotta show 'em who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding to lose? You better go talk to your mama, better stop with the drama, better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. You must know that so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Other than sex, I wonder, why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life. Because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family. And that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man. Even though she hate that role. When she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagined that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.